It's Crown Zenith release week, everybody. Street date for the Crown Zenith is Friday, January 20th. I got my shipment notification from distribution yesterday on Monday, so it sounds like I'm going to have everything arriving on Wednesday, which is pretty much perfect timing, because then I'll be able to box up and ship out any of the pre-orders that I got and at least get it in motion. People in British Columbia, likely they're not going to get their product on time. It's just the way it goes, but likely they'll get it early next week. That's timing is a lot better than usual. Often for release weeks, especially special sets, it doesn't actually arrive until either the day before or the day of. And a couple of times I've actually missed street dates because of how big Canada is. We pay a ton of shipping and a ton of freight fees in Canada. My very first launch week, my very first time I got allocation, Brilliant Stars, I was really hoping to get that 2 booster boxes and 1 ETB by the Friday of release date. And Friday comes and the distributor decided they didn't ship until the Wednesday before. So my Brilliant Stars spent its weekend with Pure later. So I didn't get any of my Brilliant Stars allocations on time. And it was supposed to be my first, first release as a store. I kind of hoped that if I had my Brilliant Stars, I'd be able to sell my product and I'd be able to find my first few customers that were friends and family. So yeah, I missed launch. That happens with street dates. It was not the first, it was not the last time I missed a release weekend because of, distributors not shipping the product out in a timely manner. I definitely understand from distribution that they don't want to send it too early, otherwise people will break street date for products. I'm just not a big fan of when I miss the whole weekend. You can go to Walmart or Shoppers Drug Mart and find packs, but a Pokemon store don't even have the packs yet. So it doesn't look good on my store to not be able to at least ship out pre-releases, pre-orders on time. And we live on the East Coast in Halifax, and that's far from the distributors who are all in central Canada. So getting the product on time is always a pain. The same thing happened to me on Astral Radiance release weekend. I actually had customers waiting to pick up their orders, and they were supposed to pick it up on the street day on the Friday, and they were stuck waiting just like me for the following Monday for it actually to arrive. So that's one of the problems with street dates and the desire to sort of hit those dates. Crown Zenith this week, my allocation is actually quite small. I'm not a big fan of that. Normally I have some case buyers and I have some cases available for purchase, but likely I'll have to say no to some regulars. I did try to get more. I contacted them, and distribution wanted $65 plus tax for an ETB on the non-allocated price. So if you guys are curious, an ETB is currently selling $69.99. So if I bought another case at $65, I sold all of it, I wouldn't even break even on the shipping from distribution, because distribution does not provide free shipping. And of course, it's easy to complain about allocation numbers, especially when distributors, they hold back product. I think they really think Crown Zenith is going to be one of those stomped out products, and I think they held back a lot. The same thing they did with the Charizard UPC. I got a small allocation for the Charizard UPC. They held back a ton of product. If you wanted to buy more Charizard UPCs, you could, but they wanted 150% more than the allocation price. So I could buy them at 105 Canadian. They wanted anything over allocation, they wanted to sell it to me at 260 Canadian plus tax. So I think they're stonking out on Crown Zenith. They expect it to go up. Okay, it's going to be one of those hard, difficult product releases because it's spread out. Now, with Crown Zenith, I'll get my allocation. I'll get my ETBs and I'll get my Regieleki and Regidrago boxes. but I can't get more if they're charging, the distribution is charging MSRP for restocks. It's just, I can go to a competitor and buy from them and pay less shipping because the competitor will give free shipping to me, but the distributors weren't. So yeah, I'm gonna have a very limited amount of Crown Zenith. All right. Because the best thing to do about when you do have a store is try to get as much as possible at allocation pricing. That means when there's a new release, you try to buy as much as you can, much as you're allowed, basically, such that you have those products available for the next, however long the duration of a release is. So like 6 weeks, if you want to have, for example, Silver Tempest. I tried to buy as much Silver Tempest as I could. And now Silver Tempest, you can't buy it anymore at distribution, but I still have some in the store. So, that's what you want to do. Buy as much as possible at allocation so that you have it, and you don't have to pay extra money to restock it. I am always trying to get allocation numbers up. The way I do that is I do buy some of the less desirable products. So I'll buy, for example, Elite Battle Decks. I bought the Mew Battle Deck that has some of the Mew VMAXs in it, it's an absolute great learn to play product. But for a lot of those, for battle decks, they really don't sell online. I basically hold on to those until I'm running a table somewhere, and players will buy them. I mean, they're good for players. They're good for people who are interested in sort of learning to play the game, but you really don't see much traffic on those online. If you ever go to Walmart, those are the last things to sell off the shelf at Walmart. Another thing about distribution, this might be a me problem, but freight. It is expensive to get product to Halifax from the distributors. So if I have maybe a $5,000 order, a big order, I could be paying maybe $200 or $300 in freight just to get it here. So if you imagine, that's basically knocks right off any type of revenue you can get, because you have to pay that extra shipping costs, and then of course it's a cost you have to add into the product markup. I am very jealous of the stores who can drive up to the distributor, load up their truck, and go home. It's a huge advantage in terms of cost of product and the cost of getting things in a timely manner. Often I'll have to skip. I'll basically have to get my distributor to hold on to the in-between releases. So, for example, my Sprigatito and my new collection boxes with the Scarlet and Violet promos that came out 2 weeks ago here in January, I'm only going to get those on Wednesday. So, I often miss on having the latest and greatest product because I need the distributor to hold on to things. I can't get that stuff right away. Otherwise, I'm just getting charged a ton on freight from distribution. Special sets, that's bad because even Crown Zenith, it's going to be spread out over 4 months, and to be able to have to pay this freight charge every single time a new product is released, it's just not going to be doable. So I'll have to get distribution to hold on to product until a bigger release or until there's a bigger amount of shipment that I want to get, like if I'm doing a restock. So yeah, it's kind of a pain, but Crown Zenith is not going to be the best, I don't think, for me. But Canada, it's big. This impacts me as a seller because I got to pay multiple $100 shipping for every time a new product is released. And of course, if I don't have the newest product for my customer, then I don't get their sale, which I don't mind. If you can get it at GameStop or at a competitor, I mean, you've done it. But yeah, it's a challenge. What products do you bring in right away? What products do you wait to bring in until there's a bigger release? It's all decisions you have to make judgment calls. It makes selling Pokemon difficult sometimes because missing street dates or things like that. It happens. The one thing about Crown Zenith is I already opened some V-Star Universe. I actually spent a lot of time looking at V-Star Universe, the Japanese set, and I definitely fawned over some of those cards. They're just beautiful. I wasn't very excited about Crown Zenith, but after watching some of the first few openings, I'm kind of worried about the hit rates compared to Japanese. Pokerev, for example, His first ETBs were great. His second set was not so good. I don't even know if Pokemon is going to try his traditional Rip to Master set. It seems like Crown Zenith is such a huge set with 70 Galarian Gallery cards. 70. That's Galarian Gallery cards. That's, you know, it's going to be his biggest shining face, and it's difficult to complete. We'll see what he does, of course. The experience of opening a V-Star Universe box versus probably a Crown Zenith ETB, it's going to be really different. I wish Pokemon International would make an English special set that models a high-class set. It'd be nice if you'd be able to open, or if you'd be able to open a booster box or even a 10-pack and just, you know, guarantee hits, or, you know, guarantee that one great hit. That would be so nice and such a relief. It goes to happiness in selling. I mean, I sell a lot of packs, and you're selling packs that may not have anything in it, but when you sell like a V-Star Universe or a VMAX Climax, you know you're selling something really good. So I actually like selling Japanese stuff, Japanese booster boxes, a lot more than I like selling the English stuff. But Japanese is hard to come by. I don't think Kai and I are going to do a big opening stream like we've done in some of the past sets. We might slow roll Crown Zenith, so we'll open a product here and a product there and see what happens, because there's going to be a lot of products getting released over the next 4 months. Likely, we're just going to have fun with the set. We're not going to try to master it or anything crazy like that. We'll see how collecting goes, and we'll see how Crown Zenith turns out. Thanks for joining, everyone. Chat soon. Collect responsibly.